It's happy hour from Central City, New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. We're at Casa Borrega on Aretha Castle, Haley Boulevard. Casa Borrega is a nightclub, a music venue, a restaurant, and a bar where you can come and enjoy cocktails, which is what we're doing right now. Talking of cocktails, we've got a lot to talk about this hour. Happy Hour is a part of the family of shows on the podcast network, itsneworleans.com, and on today's show, we're celebrating nanotech Week. nanotech Week brings together businesses and individuals at the forefront of New Orleans innovation, technology, and culture. I don't know if those things always go together, do they? Anyway, we're going to meet 5 entrepreneurs in the next 60 minutes. Because I'm completely out of my league talking to entrepreneurs and business people, innovators, and anything to do with culture, I've invited 2 very special women to join me to help with this enterprise. And they are, on my right, Lorelei Cropley. Hello, Lorelei.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you finally. Last time we tried to get you on, you got food poisoning.
Yes.
Are you feeling
hazards
better?
Of my job. Much better.
Your job is this. You're a member of the clinical faculty at Tulane School of Public Health in the undergraduate program.
That's right.
So you're teaching young children how to be healthy.
Well, they're not that young, but they're trying to be healthy. Public health has a lot more to do than personal health, though. It's like latrines and water sanitation.
Latrines, I haven't heard that name for a long time. Since graduating with a doctorate from Tulane University School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine, Dr. Cropley has developed health education policy and programs for both domestic and international agencies, among them Care International, UNICEF, and various ministries of health. This is a very intimidating afternoon for me. Lorelei's most recent projects have been working with Mayan communities in the Yucatan and Global Health Brigade water and sanitation projects in Honduras.
That's right.
Wow. What an exciting sort of a life.
It's like being the female Indiana Jones of sanitation.
The Indiana Jones of sanitation. That would be a great name for your memoirs.
Yes.
Look how many people have showed up for the show today. On my left is Leela French. Hello, Leela.
Hello.
Hi, Leela is a New Orleans born and raised actress, artist. Is that right? Actress? I don't think that's a word,
Actress.
is it?
Sure.
Actress. Actress, artist, and filmmaker, now living in Los Angeles. Leela is in New Orleans as a guest at the New Orleans Film Festival, which is presenting Leela's directorial debut, the film Bird Bath, in which Leela also stars. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's quite a big deal.
Thank you. I'm excited.
You're in a movie and you made it.
Yes, I did.
Made a movie, cast yourself in it, which is an interesting concept. Plenty of people have done that. Woody Allen does it every year.
Well, I cast myself as the director, I guess, because I acted in it before. I acted in the play.
You were in the play, the original play.
Yeah.
And then decided to make a movie of it.
Yeah.
And cast yourself again in it.
Yeah.
Okay, check this out, by the way. Leela has lived in LA since 2004 after graduating from MIT with a master's degree in computer science, followed by a brief career as a professional pole vaulter.
Sort of. I didn't really make any money pole vaulting, but I did train a lot.
You did devote your life to it.
I did.
You finished a master's degree in computer science at MIT and then took up pole vaulting.
Yeah. Well, I was doing computer science work, but I was also pole vaulting.
What about that, Lorelei? Okay, so these 2 incredible women have come here to join me today, and we're going to be also joined by 5 different members of the nanotech Week celebrations here. They are Tess Monahan from Good Eggs, Alex Giraud from Advano, which makes nanoparticles. Do you know what that is, by the way? Leela, you can help us out with that. Nate Winner, who's a Nola Pie guy. Barrett Conrad, who's got a company called Cotinga Soft, which is a software company. You know Pi? We're off to the races there. And Liz Beeson, who works on Sunken City, which is a web TV show. So we're going to meet these 5 people, and each of them is going to get 8 or 9 minutes, depending on when our erstwhile producer, Graham DePonte over here, tells us we've had enough of them. And at the end of this show, you 2, as the judges, are going to decide who wins.
Okay.
I don't know what the criteria. I don't know what the criteria are. I don't know. I'd say good looking would be one, right?
Okay.
There'll be like a swimsuit part of the contest.
Yeah. We'll be like Wayne's World, but for women.
Okay. Well, they're men and women on this thing,
yes,
so you can be the 2 Wayne's World type women. What were the names of the people on Wayne's World?
Wayne and Garth.
Yeah. We're like the female Wayne and Garth. We'll be like that.
Wayne and Garth. Thanks. Okay. So I think at the end, whoever wins this thing is going to have the happy hour cocktail named after them for the next month.
Oh, wonderful.
So, for example, we'll have to say each month it's the Good Eggs Happy Hour cocktail. Today we're drinking some sort of a rum concoction. How would you describe that, Leela, as an actress?
I would describe it as delicious.
Delicious.
Dangerously delicious.
It is dangerous. It's very good. So our first entrepreneur up is, who is it going to be? It's Tess Monahan from Good Eggs, is it?
Hey.
So Tess, welcome to Happy Hour.
Thank you.
Very nice. Okay, so we have no idea really how to do this. But I thought what we do is, so somebody told me a little bit about your company. It says Good Eggs' mission dovetails beautifully with our rich, diverse, deeply local culinary history. New Orleanians used to buy all their food directly from local purveyors at public markets. Good Eggs makes it possible for more of us to do that again.
Yes.
So
that
do you
is
have one of
true.
these elevator pitches where you
Sure.
can tell us in 2
Yeah,
seconds?
so we're a mission-driven company that exists solely to connect local farmers and food producers to customers. So the idea is there are all these amazing farmers and food producers, bakers, people making pickles or jams or jellies or, pasta salad, whatever it is. And it's hard for them to sell their product directly to the customer because they're not big enough to be in a grocery store, let's say. But farmers markets are only certain days of the week. So we built out software and a system to help get their goods directly to customers.
Okay. Leela, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Interesting.
Lorelei?
Well, it's funny. I teach nutrition now, so
Oh, great.
we have some students that work in the farm-to-table kind of aspect of nutrition.
Cool. How is
So-
it different? Oh, I was just wondering, how is it different from a farmer's market? It is online. Okay. So the idea is you can go online and you can see everything that the farmers and the food makers have. So at a farmer's market, we love farmer's markets. If we all could set our own flexible work schedules and have babysitters for our kids whenever we just snapped our fingers and had unlimited gas to fill up our cars, all these sorts of things, great, go to the farmer's market. But the idea is sometimes the farmer's market doesn't fit into your schedule, or sometimes you have 2 kids and you can't go to the farmer's market while keeping track of 2 kids. So we're trying to provide another option so that people can get their fresh local food on days when they're not able to make it to the farmer's market.
So the farmer's market comes to you. Or
Exactly.
me, I should
Exactly.
say.
Yeah. So you can go online and you can see everything that we have, and then you can order it for pickup or delivery. So right now we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays pickups and deliveries in New Orleans. We're about to expand to 4 days a week in November, and we'll also start delivering to Metairie and maybe parts of the West Bank, I think. So yeah,
This is like going to the grocery store, except everything's really good quality,
made locally.
and I don't have to leave the house.
You never have to leave the house again. It's a
How can this fail?
Well, that's how we feel. We feel that it's a win-win because you're spending more of your money with people who really deserve it, people who are local and working really hard, and you know where your food comes from. You can email them, you can call them, you can email us and say, hey, where's their farm? I want to drop by. We're all about transparency and openness and integrity.
It's better for them too then, right? The farmers?
Yes. Yeah, they love going to the farmers markets because it's fun to meet their customers, but some days they go stand there for 4 hours and it's really hot and they don't have many customers. So we're giving them another way to get their product out there that we're handling the actual distribution end of things.
Do you ever sell out? I mean, have you got to a point where everybody wants to buy radishes on the same day and there's not enough radish
Yeah,
cars?
we're definitely still building our supply. We have 2 guys who do eggs right now, and
Good eggs.
great eggs. Yeah, we have everything. I mean, we have produce, we have meat, we have dairy, prepared food, but one of our guys routinely sells out of eggs. It depends on the product. Some things they kind of like green bell peppers, as many green bell peppers as you could ever want, or okra. There's okra for miles, but some things where they make a smaller quantity, we have been known to sell out.
How did you get started on this? What gave you the idea?
Well, the company started in California a couple of years ago, and good friends of mine were on the founding team of the company in California. So they built this model in the Bay Area, and they said, well, it's great that this works in the Bay Area, but San Francisco, Northern California, that's a very special place. And just because their model worked there didn't mean it would necessarily work in other places. So they actually wanted us to try out what good eggs would look like in New Orleans, because New Orleans is maybe a harder city to make progress on this sort of model. There are not organic farms everywhere. There aren't people making artisan baked goods and organic pickles in every corner. So
Like there are, say, where?
in the Bay Area, in California,
Really?
the Northwest, it's very, very lots of everything's organic, everything's raw, everything's healthy. There's just everything.
We're the opposite of that. So
Yeah,
how's
but we-
business?
Business is great. We're just getting started. We are working out of a pretty small space right now, so we've been kind of taking it one step at a time. One of our goals right now is expanding the number of farmers and food producers we work with, so that we can offer more of a selection, more like a grocery store
Right.
selection to our customers. So we've been kind of getting the word out through word of mouth, through different pickup spots. Like we actually have a pickup spot on Thursdays at Church Alley, right down the street here on O.C. Haley. So you can order online at goodeggs.com and then pick up your groceries on your way home from work at Church Alley. So we're working with different organizations to kind of help spread the word.
This sounds like an awesome idea, right?
You're based in Marigny, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I live in Marigny too, and I keep
Oh,
meaning to come
okay.
by your
Come
little.
visit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
should. Your open houses or
Yeah.
your open egg.
We're there
or
most
whatever.
days.
Open
so
egg crate.
Yeah,
Just walk on
open egg
by.
crate. Yeah, cracked
Open
egg.
egg crate.
But you don't have a shop. There's no store that I can
No,
go.
no.
So you have to buy it online.
Because we don't own anything ever.
Who's going to deliver it to me if I order it?
Well, me maybe.
Awesome.
We have a staff of about 5, so it may be me, it may be one of our other team members. We're growing quickly, but we're all
So
keeping very busy.
just tell us quickly how this works. So I go online to goodeggs.com.
Yep.
And I see all the stuff online. There's
Yep.
photos of fruit and vegetables and
Yep.
pies and so on.
Yep.
And I order what I want. And how soon do I get it?
So on Tuesdays, so we do deliveries on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you have to order by Sunday at midnight for Tuesday, and then Tuesday at midnight for Thursday. So you're ordering about 36 hours in advance.
36 hours. before
So
I
that
get my
means that
stuff.
everything, all the produce is all picked from the field between when you order it and when it's delivered. So you're getting produce that was picked that day or the day before. You're getting bread that was baked that morning. You're
Wow.
getting really
I get fresh bread
awesome
delivered to
stuff.
my house.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds great.
I'm doing it. Thank you so much, Tess. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Nice
Awesome.
meeting you.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, before we move on to our next question, Leela, tell us a bit about the movie Bird Bath, which is at the New Orleans Film Festival.
Well, it's an adaptation of a play, and the play opened in 1965 in New York. And it's about a waitress and a poet who meet and what happens between these two strangers over the course of one night.
And you're one of the strangers, and the other one is no doubt a man.
That's correct.
And you fall in love.
You'll have
You have to go see the movie.
Yeah.
So the movie's at the New Orleans Film Festival, and if I'm listening to this somewhere in the world and I can't get to the New Orleans Film Festival, or I've missed the New Orleans Film Festival, can I find it online or anywhere else?
Not yet, but it will be.
Bird Bath.
Bird Bath.
Okay. Is it birdbaththemovie.com or something?
Birdbathshortfilm.com.
Bird Bath short film. How long is the short film?
Actually, there are 2 cuts of it. There's a long cut that's being played at the New Orleans Film Festival, and that one's 47 minutes. And there's a short film cut of it that's 38 minutes.
38 and 47, not much difference there. I just haven't got the extra 9 minutes, god damn it. I'll have to watch the short version.
Yeah, I prefer the long version.
The long version was the director's cut. Who made you
Yeah,
take
yeah.
9 minutes out of it?
Well, for Academy short
Oh, you have to get into
requirements,
38
and,
minutes.
and for some film festivals,
Academy
and-
nominated.
There you go.
Wow.
She's thinking
For the-
ahead.
Listen,
But,
talking
well,
yes.
She's thinking ahead.
Yeah, and for some film festivals, 40 minutes is the max for
Okay.
short.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
I
we
didn't
kind
realize
of
that.
sped up some parts of it.
Liz Beeson is also a filmmaker. Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Pleased to
Hi.
meet you.
No, unfortunately,
Well,
I'm not a
a
filmmaker.
a web filmmaker.
Thank you very much, though. That's really nice. Yes, I'm actually working with the great crew of Sunken City as their production coordinator right now. As
Now
we're
that's
in production.
Sunken City, not
Sunken
Second City.
Yes, I'm sorry, Sunken City.
Sunken City.
Yes.
I think you probably said Sunken City, but I can't hear anything. So, Sunken City is a web TV series that's set here in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
It's
and
one of the funniest things ever made here.
yeah, we're hoping so.
It is. Well, I saw the pilot.
It will
The
be,
pilot is
absolutely.
very, very funny.
Yeah, and we're just so inspired by all the creative characters here in New Orleans and just presenting that in a funny, comical light. And we're hoping to be, one of the best, if not the best, web comedies from New Orleans.
Tell us something about how you get involved with Noel the Tech Week, because one of the characters in Sunken City is a biting, satirical version of one of these Noel the Tech people. Have any of these people seen it before they
I
invited you?
hope they have. So there are 3 sets of characters, and 2 of them are these really overly ambitious entrepreneurs, and they are wanting to have the next big idea, but they just don't know what that is yet. But they're so earnest and excited about it, and we've had the privilege of working out of Launchpad NOLA, which has a lot of great tech companies that exist there, and
So they don't mind laughing at themselves, these
yeah,
people.
no,
They've got a good sense of humor.
they've been good sports.
And why did they invite you to be part of Noel the Tech Week? Because of this satirical aspect of it?
I suppose so. Yeah, we've been invited by Novak, which is the New Orleans Video Access Center, to be on the panel speaking to other people who have an interest in developing or creating web content for themselves, and want advice from people who are in that right now. And so I believe that's next week. Novak is having a week-long conference about it. And
Next week doesn't mean much on a podcast.
yeah, I'm sorry. I
because
know this is like
people are listening. What year was that?
exactly.
Leela, have you thought about doing anything on the web? Is it like web-based stuff? 38 minutes?
You mean with bird bath or
Well,
something?
like with Birdbath, say putting it up there and then... Is there any way to make any money out of it?
Yeah, possibly. I think online distribution with through Amazon and Hulu. There's
Netflix
new.
is big.
Yeah,
with them.
there are new
Video,
avenues
Vimeo.
now. Right. Yeah, through Vimeo. That's true.
Do you watch stuff online, Lorelai?
I do. I don't watch too much TV now. There's so many good things online.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes it easier.
So you do watch
Yeah.
stuff online?
Yes.
What are you eating, like acid or something? So you put something on your tongue, I'm like, this is awesome. Now things are picking
Yeah,
up.
really, everyone's out tripping out like Woodstock, but no, it's Altoids.
When's the last time you did acid?
You know,
Oh, this
never-
is going there now.
I never went that way. I mean, when you do tropical medicine and traditional healers, they give you some pretty freaky stuff.
What have you tried? Have you had like ayahuasca?
I don't know what it was, but it was
Peyote.
pretty.
I don't know what it was.
I never
That's
did
not a good
peyote.
answer for somebody who's a
You know, you smoke
professional.
this, eat this, something else. Like, wow, that's
What
pretty
did you smoke or eat?
Oh my goodness! I mean, I don't even know what it was.
Did you have
But what happened?
some kind? Yeah.
I'm talking
You
about
have
working
an
with
experience?
indigenous people, and they're giving you something, and it's kind of a tricky afterwards. I could say the best thing.
What happened to you?
Well, you know, kind of very bright visual changes and things like that. You know, I didn't want to refuse the host, and that would be very unkind. Something they have in Mexico, for example, is called posh. And
How do you say that again?
it's actually spelled P-O-X, posh. But you drink it, and my gosh, it's like Jägermeister squared or something. I don't know what it is. And then you go into this church, and they're sacrificing chickens, and you don't know if it's what's happening, if it's the
How much of it do you have
rituals
to
or the
drink?
posh. But suddenly, you know, you're just like in another planet.
What kind of a church sacrifices chickens?
Well, you know, you go into indigenous areas like in Chiapas. They didn't really take to conversion to Catholicism very well, so they have taken over the churches, and they do pre-Columbian Mayan rituals there.
Are you sure that really happened, or was it the pot?
You know, I am now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
That's pretty interesting.
Maybe you have to go back down and try it again and see if do a control sample,
Well,
posh
you know
and no
what,
posh.
I mean, as a scientist, right, which is what you are.
Yes.
You're a doctor and a scientist. So
But I'm also a medical anthropologist, which means
Are
we
you?
go and look for like medical cool stuff in different communities.
what I'm interested in knowing then, does sacrificing chickens actually work?
Well, you know, that's once again we have to do a control sample. We have to get some unsacrificed and sacrificed. And
Well, what
see
are they trying to achieve by sacrificing a chicken?
You know, I think that they were doing a lot of petitions, like asking for different things, good harvest, healthy kids, get something about the drunk uncle. It was kind of hard to follow because they were speaking an indigenous language.
How do you communicate with people when you go? Do you
Well,
speak Mayan?
I speak a little bit of Mayan and a little bit of
So,
Mosquito.
Liz, you speak Mayan as well, right?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm so sorry.
I wouldn't know what Mayan sounds like. Would you guys recognize
can-
Mayan?
I
What is?
don't think so.
Can you say something?
Can you say something in Mayan? What would you say normally? I can give you some of my script here. to read.
Bashkolik. Hi, how you doing?
How are you doing?
Say Mishba back.
Bishba.
Yeah.
Ishba?
Mishba.
I like
What's that mean?
Mishba. Like,
Mishba.
hi, how you doing?
Dead chicken.
Fine, man. Yeah.
Did,
And
How can
Mosquito,
you say, excuse me, that's my chicken?
you know, I didn't get that far.
You don't know how to say
Yeah,
that? How
yeah.
would you say, excuse me, that's
you,
my
like,
chicken?
You definitely have to learn, like, help get me out of here first.
I guess you would. What are the first words you learned, really? I mean, how do you learn Mayan, actually?
I did a lot of research in Mayan communities.
Right.
And it's very interesting. The North Maya speak different than Southern Maya. This is in Belize.
Do they have a drawl in the south?
They
do you follow the Mayan calendar?
Excellent question from Liz. Hey, listen, Liz, we've only got one more minute. Graham's giving me the wind up. So, Lorelai, Leela, you have any final questions for Liz about Sunken City?
when can we watch it?
yeah.
Great. So we're going to have a sneak preview of Sunken City at our upcoming comedy fest called Hell Yes Fest, which I'm also producing for the New Movement Theater. And that is coming up. Let me get to my notes.
Do you say hell on the radio? Is that okay?
Can we say
You
hell?
can, you can say anything you'd
Heck
like.
yes fest.
You can say anything. This is never going to go anywhere near any. First of all, the government's
November
shut down
13th.
forever.
Yeah,
Oh,
really.
yeah.
Let's
Or
get
maybe
it-
it's
let's
back
get it-
tomorrow.
Let's
No, I
get
can't
all our
remember.
bad words in real quickly before the
Yeah.
FCC can get us.
But come check us out November 13th at 7:30 p.m. Britannia Theater, or go online at www.oursunkencity.com or follow us on Twitter at at Our Sunken City,
Okay.
just to stay up to date.
And I can tell you, as a personal recommendation, it's fucking funny.
It is fucking funny.
It is. Really. It's hilarious. So congratulations, Liz. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for joining us
Thank
here.
you so much.
Okay, it's been great. And we'll see who Graham points at next. It's Nate Winner.
Hello.
This is Nate Winner. Nate, I'd like you to meet Lorelei Cropley,
Hello,
Hi,
nice to meet you.
Leela
Pleasure.
French.
Nice to meet you
This is
again.
Nate Winner, who's known as the NOLA Pie Guy.
Yay.
Pie guy.
Guess what NOLA Pie Guy does? Just a quick guess. Lorelei is a doctor.
Let me see. He used pi to make calculations about the trajectory of the. Is that anywhere close?
Nailed it.
It's amazing.
First time.
He's a physicist.
Yeah. A physicist of pi.
So what actually Nate does is make pies. But he can say it a lot better than I can. So Nate, give our judges, because you know what you're going to win here, don't you?
Pie?
No.
No, you don't want pie. He's probably sick of pie.
Whoever Leela and Lorelei decide at the end of the show is the winner of these conversations.
Okay.
It's $1 million seed money for their company.
Well, but did you tell them my last name?
In seeds.
He's already a winner.
Oh, really?
Last name, yeah.
Oh,
I fixed it.
wow.
I was the one that made this.
Yeah, I got
Okay,
you.
so you
Yeah.
just won $1 million
Then
seed
people,
money.
Spoiler alert.
Actually,
people
or
probably
something like that.
people never want to let you be the winner because you're already a winner.
Exactly.
You're a born winner.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you when you
can have
figured out you were a
so many-
winner? When your name was Winner? That must have been an interesting day.
6 months, maybe?
6 months old?
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
So where are you from originally?
So I'm from Shreveport, originally, North Louisiana. Shreveport, Caddo Parish, born and raised. Stayed there for college and went to Chicago for French pastry school to get professional training in making pies and other delicious pastries, and moved to New Orleans shortly thereafter. Been here about 5.5 years now.
And did you start off doing this NOLA Pie Guy idea, or did you work in a kitchen, or what?
No, I worked in a few other jobs. So when I was in school and shortly thereafter, I had a few kitchen jobs. I've worked on the management side of things in different capacities, sales and GM work here in the city. And I started NOLA Pie at the end of 2011, had a brief break and restarted it in March of this year.
So it's a fairly new company
Yes.
from
yes,
March of
absolutely.
2013.
Correct.
So you just bake pies all day.
I make pies, so
How
it's
bad could that be for a
Would you
living,
make
right?
them and deliver them
Exactly.
and sell them, or do you just make them and eat them?
I both, all of the above, I would say. So the idea is to create the first virtual bakery where you can go online, order custom sweets, and have them delivered to your home or office. Now, the first iteration, the part I'm in right now, is working locally, doing it just in New Orleans. I will hand deliver it to your home or office or anywhere else. I also do food truck events, farmers markets, different things like that around town. But the big idea is to have an online website where people can go on, order sweets, have them made fresh to order, and delivered, shipped nationwide.
Great.
So
Nationwide.
after we get our fruits and vegetables from Good Eggs, we've earned pie,
We've
homemade
learned some-
pie.
You're right.
Exactly.
And so you bake them yourself?
Correct.
Okay. So you showed up here with some pie for us?
I had to leave them all at the farmer's market today, but...
That was very bad
I
idea.
nailed it.
That's very bad planning.
But,
One pie.
But you
would
know
have-
how to get one now.
Yeah,
I will
should-
bring it to
yeah,
you.
smooth.
Yeah, you can have this guy. And is this the best looking guy on the internet or what?
Wow.
Let's face it, he's handsome, right?
This is wasted on a non-visual
I
show
know,
like
I
this,
know.
yeah.
But you know what? He shows up at your house
There you go.
with a pie.
Yeah.
Do you wear like an outfit? Like
Just
a
an apron.
Chippendales? Just
An
an
apron and a smile.
You know, I might start calling that pie number. Yeah.
What's the pie guy doing tonight?
You know,
How late do you deliver?
Did you always like pie when you were in culinary school? Did you lean towards pie over the other?
I've always loved all sweets. Pies early on in Shreveport, there's a diner called Strawn's that is known for their pies. I mean, Travel and Leisure magazine's best pies, and it is phenomenal. So they're known for getting these Ruston peaches, which are the best peaches I've ever had in my life.
They're good.
And yeah, it's fantastic. And it's piled high with homemade whipped cream, baked fresh every single morning. It's fantastic.
This is at this place in Shreveport.
Right. Grew up there, Strawn's.
Now, do you do savory pies too? Because I've lived in England for a while, and they were very big on their savories.
Absolutely, yeah. Mincemeat and everything is huge over there. I've made them for a couple of events. It's not on the website yet. It's not
Okay.
something I do on a normal basis. I can do them for big orders and private orders. Right now I'm focusing mainly on sweets and kind of traditional Americana baked goods, and we'll expand into savory and
Okay.
more European sweets after that.
Wow.
Do you make a version of the peach pie that you had as a kid?
Yes, absolutely. So right now my peach pie is a little bit different. I use a custard base as opposed to just straight peaches with whipped cream on top, so I get kind of all the dairy in there, but I do always make homemade whipped cream to serve on top because that's one of my favorite things to have with any dessert.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
I always make homemade whipped cream. It's so easy.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's like a hidden secret. People don't know how easy it is.
Yeah. It's fun too because you can do a lot with it. If you want to get creative and really blow people away, the night before you make it, just throw some coffee beans in there, let it do a cold infusion overnight,
wow.
then just strain the cream into your mixer, whip it up, and you've got coffee infused whipped cream.
Good idea.
Yeah. We got
can
some
do that with
cooking tips too.
Herbs
I'm starving,
and
yeah.
exactly, yeah, herbs.
Yeah, really.
Spices.
So it's nolapieguy.com.
Exactly, nolapieguy.com.
And the big plan is to do this internationally and global, like intergalactic.
One country at a time, but we'll get there. Yeah,
So you're going to spread outside New Orleans across the country, though, really.
absolutely.
And how will that work? They have to have other pie guys.
No, not at all. So you order it online. That's the beauty of the online bakery is anybody has access to it. So whether it's someone in New Orleans wanting to order for New York or someone from New York wanting to order for a friend in California, they can go online, create their order. We'll produce it here in New Orleans and ship it out.
So if I'm listening to this podcast right now, and I'm somewhere else in the country, anywhere in the United States of America, I can go on to nolapieguy.com and get a pie delivered to myself or a friend.
By the end of 2013, you'll be able to. So we're still building out that part of the website right now. Right now, you can only get them in New Orleans. But by the end of this year, we'll have the shipping options on the website to ship nationwide.
Well, it's only a couple of months or something till the end of
I
the year.
know,
So
right?
what are you
Under
going
the
to do
gun.
between now and then that's going to be so different? I have to kick you out. But answer that last question briefly. What do you have to do to make that happen?
I'm going to partner with one of y'all's upcoming guests, Barrett Conrad, and we're going to work on an e-commerce site.
Barrett
Wow.
Conrad's on
Amazing
next,
segue.
actually.
How's that for an intro?
What a segue. Brad
Very
Ponte
good.
is genius, that's all I can tell you. Nate, thank you very much. Okay, this is Barrett Conrad, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
From Cotinga Soft.
Hello.
Hi, Barrett. You're too big for our show. You have to put this mic up a bit.
All right.
Here we go. Barrett, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
I'm
as
Grant
well.
Morris. This is Leela French.
Hello.
Leila.
This is Lorelei Cropley.
Nice to meet you.
Lorelei, nice to meet
Now,
you all.
Leela's a graduate from MIT,
Okay, awesome.
and Lorelei has a PhD from Tulane.
Yes.
And you're like a super genius kind of guy as well, I believe.
I don't
Wow.
know. I
We're
feel
gonna
the pressure.
Yes. Well, there's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure here.
It's
And
like
Let's
let
go
me-
rob some banks or something.
Let me
Yeah,
tell
we
you.
should.
Let me tell you something
Digitally,
about
of
yourself.
course. I don't get out of my chair. Or
Look,
anything.
have you got glass in those glasses?
Yeah, no, they're real glasses.
How are they? How are they
Wow.
so
They're just-
shiny? You can't.
I wash them
My God, you've done a good
meticulously
job of that.
every morning.
I'm mesmerized looking at them. So Barrett Conrad is an independent software engineer. He and his wife Emily Moran have a couple of dogs, and he made a mobile trivia game. What kind of bullshit introduction is that? Who wrote that?
I know.
That is from BarrettConrad.com.
Okay, that's
that
off
is the
that
extent
website.
of my website.
Is that your whole website?
That's it. And unless you wanted to plug my LinkedIn and Twitter handle on there, that's about all that's on there.
That's all that's on your website, really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess dogs are important too.
You have a couple of dogs. Are
couple of
Are they a
dogs.
I have
couple?
two too.
No, they're not.
You have two dogs. You have two dogs. Leela, how many dogs
I-
do you have?
I have none.
None. Okay, so that's why they have two. So it balances out the fact that
Yeah.
you have no dogs. So Barrett, what do you actually do?
I write software. I work with a lot of local small to medium-sized businesses writing applications to run their businesses. I help startups around town build their products, sort of take their initial idea, turn it into an actual functioning product, and they can get out to market. And I also write mobile apps for various size companies and projects as well, and do a little mobile gaming on the side.
So you actually do something for
I
a living.
do something. I'm a
You
doer.
produce something.
I'm a builder.
Like, yeah.
Are
so
you a one-man operation?
Right now, I'm a one-man operation. So I bring all the skills usually necessary. Occasionally, I'll bring in another person if I don't do design. That's
so
the one thing
Leila,
I
this
don't
is
do.
the world that you turned your back on to take up pole vaulting.
to
Take
yeah,
up pole vaulting before you
filmmaking.
became a filmmaker,
Yeah,
which
right.
is a strange trajectory to go on. But you have a degree in computer science from MIT, which must be very difficult to actually get a degree at MIT, I would imagine. Even if you're intelligent, it must be a lot of work
Yeah,
involved.
it's rough. It's rough.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good, though.
Why did you turn your back when you look at Conrad and you look how successful and how much fun he's having? Do you ever
This
think you'd
could
go
be
back
you,
to it?
yeah.
No, well, I still do that. That's still my regular money-making job.
Oh,
I
you
do,
still do it.
yeah, software.
There's something to be said for that old adage that if you love something, don't do it for a living.
Wow.
It can become a bit of a burden
So what
sometimes,
sort of
but-
stuff are you doing in New Orleans? If we go online and we see something you've built, what would it be? Say?
Gosh, let me see.
Can you say that, or do clients
Yeah.
want? They don't care.
I mean, my clients vary from. Recently, I helped rebuild WorkNola.com. Sort of pulled together a team of local developers to sort
Work NOLA.
of WorkNola.com.
That's a place to go to find a job.
It's a place that companies can for free post jobs that are locally, and people that are in town and looking for a job, or even out of town looking for a job, can go on there and find one. I helped a local ed tech startup a number of years ago called Kickboard sort of put their application together and help them turn into a product and grow their engineering team. And so helping a few other startups with their mobile apps right now. And
So you're creative. People come to you with an idea, and you translate it into an online
pretty
reality.
much, I have to take the clouds and the circles and the arrows and put them together into something. I'll say hard and physical, but it's ultimately digital and virtual. But yeah, it's an execution sort of job. So.
And why is the name of your company Cotinga?
Cotinga Soft. A cotinga is a very brightly colored bird in Central and I believe South America.
Dr. Cropley knows a little bit about Central and South
I don't
America.
know those cotingas, though.
Oh, really?
Did you sacrifice
Are
any
you
of those?
sure you saw one of those?
I did not see it. Well,
Maybe he was drinking the posh.
what's your experience with that?
In Latin America?
Yeah.
Caribbean? I do a lot of work with anthropological kind of medical anthropology, so
Oh,
out in
okay.
the bush, and sometimes they, you get to see a lot of the different types of birds for
Okay.
indigenous reasons.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The reason I chose the name for that is that cotingas are listed in some of the documents from the Aztecs when the Spanish were documenting them, and it was demanded as tribute from the various cities because they used them in their costumes. So it was a very
Right.
rare, valuable, and highly sought after bird, and that's what I want to be in my software engineering
That's a
practice.
Quetzal.
And it's got costuming in it as
There
well,
you
which
go.
is the
We
main
fit
thing.
right
for
into
New
New Orleans. Yeah.
Are you from here originally?
I am not. I was born and raised in Arkansas. I came down here to go to Tulane at 18 and
Where
never
in
left.
Wow.
Where in Arkansas?
Jonesboro.
I pole vaulted there for 2
Did you?
years.
Earl Bell?
Yay.
Do you know Earl Bell? Did you ever go?
Yes,
in?
that's who I trained with.
All right.
I trained
I
with Earl Bell.
Earl
Wow,
Bell lived across the
small
street
world.
from me for
What?
a number of years, and we're
What?
sort of family friends for a little while there.
With Grandpa Bell. Grandpa Bell is Earl Bell's dad. He's in
Okay.
his 90s and he's still pole vaults.
Still pole
Well,
vaults.
Still
as
pole
far,
vaults in
as
his
far as
90s.
as far as I
I guess there's
know.
still time for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unlikely.
So you're from Arkansas.
I'm from Arkansas.
From Jonesboro, Arkansas. Okay. So how many people live there? Like maybe 200,000?
No.
400,000?
No. It's $50,000 to $60,000 if you include
Oh,
Arkansas
so everybody
State.
knows everybody.
Pretty much.
Oh, so it's
pretty
not
much.
that unusual that you would know a 90-year-old pole vault.
Well, no, it's not 90. It would have been his son, I guess.
Earl is the son.
Earl Bell.
Grandpa Bell is his father.
So your coach is your family friend. Okay, Graham. Graham says we have to kick you out, Barrett.
Oh,
Thank you
that's
so
all right.
much.
I see.
Barrett
Yeah.
Conrad
Thank you
from
very much.
Cotinga Soft.
Appreciate it.
Tell us what's the name of the website. Cotingasoft.com.
Cotingasoft.com.
Cotinga.
Exactly.
Soft.com. Cool.
All right, well, thank
Thanks.
y'all
nice
very much.
to meet you.
You as well.
Okay. Moving right along. Okay. So what about that? What are the chances that one guy named his company after a bird in South America, where you go to, Lorelei, and knows your pole vaulting
Wow.
coach? Really? Okay. That's got to count for something, right?
Yes,
This guy could be the front runner just for that reason. Because we have no criteria for judging any of this.
Well, yeah.
So it could just be-
We're gonna
we
make
could-
it up as we go along.
Yeah, the coincidence
Yeah.
could be the winner with whoever had the most
If the
coincidence.
pie guy had brought some pie, that might have tipped him a little bit kind of favorable.
Cotinga is maybe a good name for a Casa Borrega drink.
Yeah,
it would
there-
be.
Yeah, I like it.
Alex,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
glad to be here.
Alex, how do I pronounce your other name? Giro?
Giro,
Alex Giro.
That's right.
From, and I don't know how to pronounce the name of your company. Advano?
Advano, it's short for Advancing Nanotechnology.
Short for Advancing Nanotechnology. I'm going to do a little nanotechnology right now. Hang on.
There we go.
It was a bit of fine tuning. Okay, so this is Leela French, who's a visiting filmmaker, who's born and raised in New Orleans, but came back here because she has a film in the film festival called Bird Bath. And this is Dr. Lorelei Cropley,
Hello.
who's teaches at Tulane University.
Okay,
And Leela also has a degree from MIT in computer science.
okay, cool.
So she might know something about nanotechnology. I don't know anything about it, except it's very small, right? It's a very small
Yeah,
business.
Nano's small.
Right, so it's nano's a short term for a scale, 10 to the minus ninth meters. Give you an idea.
I'm sorry, you have to start that again. 10 to the minus...
10 to the minus ninth. That's 1 with 9 zeros in front. So width of a hair, 1,000 times smaller. That's the nano scale.
1,000 times
So-
smaller than the width of a hair.
Right.
So why would you want to name your company over something so small?
Well, we specialize in a nanotechnology.
Okay.
That would be a
Nanoscale
good answer.
technology. So we have a method of manufacture material called a nanoparticle. It's basically a particle that's nano-sized.
Wow.
So
It's how many times smaller than a hair is it again?
1,000.
1,000 times. Do we all have the same width hair?
On that scale, yeah.
Did you
pretty
bring
much.
any nanos?
No, I don't have any on me, but they're all over. I mean,
Yeah.
just can't see them. So anyway, so you mentioned you were a Tulane professor,
Right.
Yeah. So this was technology developed at Tulane while I was
Yeah, there's a lot of smart people there.
yeah. So I
Well, you're one of the smart people, assumedly.
Yeah.
And,
Did you you went to Tulane?
yeah. So I was there getting my PhD. I didn't finish. Actually,
In what-
chemical engineering.
Okay.
And I left early to start this company with a professor of mine. With the help of him.
the guy's a professor, and he let you drop out of college to start a business with.
Well,
That sounds almost illegal.
Yeah, I had a lot of goodwill and help from other administrators from Tulane, so it's been very great. But yeah, some professors are very supportive, and some you drop out. But yeah, it's always that great student story.
Right. Like the guy that started Yahoo, he went there too.
Right?
didn't he?
Yeah,
so it's
David
like-
Philo.
Yeah.
That's right.
He went to Tulane?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's a pretty good story.
There's a scholarship in his name, as a matter of fact.
Started
Wow.
Yahoo. Okay.
So you have a scholarship after him. You get a scholarship named after you one day?
I think that's why they're letting me do this in hopes of that. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They get you a
it's
lot of
fun.
alumni letters, like.
I'm already getting those.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already getting phone
Oh,
calls.
they already want money out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
They don't
know.
care if you dropped out. So
Right.
what do you actually do? What is this thing that you're making?
So, we make technology that isn't currently available, or applications that aren't available.
So you've invented something.
We've invented a process to
Okay.
make nanoparticles. This process is more efficient than what exists. So there are applications like solar paint. I'll tell you about solar paint in a minute. It's not able to be used because nanoparticles are so hard to make. Our process makes it very easier to be made, for nanoparticles to be made, and also we can do it on such a large industrial size scale. So the big companies can make these nanoparticles cheaply to use in cool applications like solar paint. And
Okay,
solar
this is the
paint.
time to tell us about solar
And
paint,
So this
okay.
is where people grab on. So
Good
solar
segue.
paint, essentially, we take these particles, put it in a cream. We could paint it on the wall. Just wipe it on the wall, put in 2 wires, and when the sun hits the cream, these particles react, and we can actually generate a current. So think any surface, you can just paint it, put in 2 wires, and generate a current.
So you can
Wow.
power your own house by painting it?
In theory, there's a lot of development, but the great idea is this is a 15-year development technology. So, but to even get to there, you need a lot of particles. No one has a process to make a lot, so we do.
Now, Leela, why are you laughing? What's so funny about that?
I don't know.
Oh,
The
I
way he
thought
said
you-
it. The way he said it.
Yeah, you need a
You
lot.
need
It's
a
a
lot of
delivery.
particles.
You do.
It's a
I
delivery.
mean, yeah, yeah.
Well, you can fit a lot of particles if they're all 1,000th of the size of the width of a hair. I would imagine you can fit a lot onto the head of a pin.
Yes, you can.
How many nanoparticles can you fit on the head of a pin?
Depends on. I would say the head of a pin's the width of a hair, right? So how many particles? I would say
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000. I would probably
Wow.
say 1,000.
So you make these particles, these nanoparticles, which obviously are unable to be seen by the human eye, and you put them in paint, which is one application. I'm sure there's other
Right.
applications. You put the paint on a panel or something. So have
Right.
you made a solar panel then, just
Yes.
by painting it?
Yes. Flexible surface.
So would that cut down the cost of solar for a kickoff?
Right.
That's the first thing.
That's one of the benefits. And an easy application. I mean, one of the hardest parts of solar is installing the panels.
Right.
Well, this you just wipe it on.
So how close are you to actually pulling this off?
Well,
I'd like to give you $1,000 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
really?
gonna-
Are you looking
This
for
is gonna
investors
work.
here?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I wish it'd only take $1,000, but it's going to take a few more
How much do you
greater
need?
minds. We're looking in 7 figures ish just to get started for 2 or so years.
How many people are in your
7
company?
figures.
So we have 4 currently right now, 4 employees, but we have a lot of mentors and outside help. I mean, and Tulane, they're an unspoken, mentor. I mean, they're a tremendous amount of goodwill and help.
Do you work in their lab, or where do you guys?
So we work closely with the New Orleans Bioinnovation Center downtown, and they've been very helpful. And we're not doing lab work right now. All the lab work to commercialize has been done. So we have a process that's ready to be used. Next is to scale it up, and that's what we're getting funding for. And where that lab ends up, that's going to be determined by where the money comes. Where the money comes from.
What does scale it up mean? Bigger, build a bigger production
Not bigger
line.
nanos.
Yeah, not bigger nanos, more. Yeah, more. So let's say we make X amount. Well, we need 100X to make it.
Right.
Okay,
so what does a nano producing machine look like?
So example, think of a paint shaker.
Thing that when you go to the paint store and they shake the paint up.
Right, and you have ball bearings in there. So we put chunk silicon wafers, put it in there, and you just shake it up and you crush it. It crushes so small that you end up with little particles. But we do that in the presence of chemicals. So we get a little chemistry mixed up.
This sounds so simple.
It is. It's very simple.
So you don't have to be a genius to come up with this.
No,
Mind you, the simplest things are the hardest things to come up with.
It's an aha idea. It's like, why don't we just mix chemistry with grinding? That's pretty much that was the aha innovative idea. And that's.
Well, how did you come up with that?
I can't take credit for that. That was my advisor at Tulane.
Okay.
So he had the brilliant idea with another professor. My contribution was actually putting these particles into an application, using them for an application.
Right. So he had the theory and you've applied it.
Right. So
you're like Abbott and Costello. That can't be right.
I guess.
What are two really? I mean, the guy the Higgs boson guy.
Yeah, there
and
you
the
go.
other guy.
The Higgs boson guys. That could be you in a few years.
Oh yeah, no, that.
Are you
Those guys, they just won the. They just got awarded the Nobel Prize.
Right,
so.
I know.
Right.
So we were making that comparison.
Yeah.
It might be you one day.
No, maybe. I don't know.
So why did he pick on you, this guy who came up with this idea to help him?
Well, when you're in graduate school, you're paired with advisors for research or professors. And with my background in chemistry, it was a natural fit.
But this Tulane University is filled with people doing chemistry. Why are you?
It's also it's like dating. It's personality matches.
Really?
He's a big suck up, probably.
Is that all it is?
No,
It's just because someone liked you?
It's what field you want to specialize
Exactly,
in.
yeah.
You pick what field you want to specialize in, and then you basically work with that professor
Right.
for
Well, are you
years.
being falsely modest? Laura, like you teach at Tulane yourself.
Yes.
Is he being falsely modest? I mean, can anyone who just happens to be in a chemistry class that the professor likes end up becoming the discovery of
It's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
With mentorship, they say, this is what I do, and, you want to work on this with me? Like, sure, and you could be in it like this.
But they also have to say yes.
Yeah.
So that's, just because you say, I want to work with this professor.
My students end up way smarter than me and doing way better things and brilliant careers. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So, dude, if this works out, then what? Are you a billionaire or super famous?
Are you
or
like the next
what's up?
Facebook guy?
That's not why I do it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, once this gets done, I'm going to move on to the next one.
Right, there you go.
Maybe go back to school, finish my degree.
Yeah, you probably
Why
don't.
the hell would
Once
you
you
go
make
back to
multi-millions and you're flying in your private jet, you're not going to want the degree.
Well, it's going to be for personal gain.
I gotcha, yeah.
I got a master's, but I'm
Alex,
going to
so
finish.
we have to kick you out now. But tell me this:
Yeah.
how do I find you online and figure out what you're doing?
So we have a website. It's www.advanotech.com.
Advano, ADVANO.
That's right.
Tech.
Tech.com.
Okay.
My contact information is on the bottom, and all the if you want to know more about what we're doing, just take a gander.
Okay.
That's
It's fascinating,
Yeah.
right?
It is. He's really interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Alex.
Thank you.
Giraud.
I'm glad for having me
Just
on.
one more question: where does that name come from? Girau. What
Well,
sort of-
I'm from here.
Giroux is a Cajun name.
is it?
Yeah.
It's French background. That's right. We just dropped the X.
What do you folks do? They live in New Orleans, or are you from?
No, I'm from here, so I grew up on the West Bank.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I have good friends from the West Bank.
So my mother actually moved to Houston after the hurricane, but my dad's
Uh-huh.
still here.
Okay. So
So,
they
yeah.
split up after the hurricane.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
what part of the West Bank? Just curious.
Harvey, Stonebridge.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay,
way out there. Oh.
Yeah.
Are you from the West Bank? Laura?
No, but I have a lot of friends, and they call it the best bank.
Why do you have a lot
And
of
some
friends
people
on the
call it
West
the skank bank. I mean, it depends on which depends on which part of the West Bank you're from.
Yeah.
Bank? Skank Bank. Now, you grew up here too, Leela, right?
Yeah, I'm from Metairie.
From Metairie.
Yeah. That's
And they
where
call
I live now.
they call West Bankers wankers, which is a really bad term in Britain.
What?
Yeah, so don't go.
Wank out.
No?
Don't call yourself that. Yeah, it's bad Britain.
Yeah.
Alex, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to
Thanks.
meet you. And if you win this, of course, we're going to name the cocktail after you. Cocktail of the
Sure,
month.
absolutely.
right.
So
Look
that
forward to it.
The West Bank is proud. Make West Bank proud.
Yeah, well, I hope you're onto something, and we can, give you $100 and end up millionaires.
Yeah, really.
Perfect. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Insider
All right.
trading.
Well, thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Okay, so that was our 5. I don't know. I'd hate to use the word contestants, so they don't even know they're in a contest. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Were
But
there
there was
5 in already? Yeah.
That
What's
was
it? That's 5
that was
people, wasn't it?
fast.
That was
was fast.
Tess Monaghan from
Yeah.
Good Eggs, and then Liz Beeson from Sunken City,
Right.
Nate Winner, the Nola Pie guy,
Yeah.
Barrett Conrad from
There you go.
Cotinga
You're right.
Side,
It was 5.
and Alex Giro from Advana. So now we have to go through and figure out who's going to win. Now, we have like a few minutes left to do that. Well, we can come back to that in a minute. Let's just talk about what are you actually doing, Lorelei? Because I see on this bio here that they gave me about you that it says that over the last summer, you were involved in something called the Chagas disease.
Chagas
Project?
disease, right.
What is that?
It's what's called a neglected tropical disease, which means it doesn't get attention like the big diseases like HIV, TB, and malaria does. But it actually is a very serious disease that affects a lot of people in Latin America. And they have the bug that carries it and Chagas in New Orleans. However, it doesn't have the same behavior, so people don't really get the infection here. It's a pretty serious disease. They think that Darwin died of it. Darwin.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's weird.
It's a fascinating disease. It's a
Survival of the
yeah.
fittest.
I guess
Chagas
it kind of took
sufferer.
him down,
That is weird. How is that true, or is it just some one of those?
It's one of these, here's a
the
problem.
Chagas
Here's a
people
very
think
interesting thing. It's when you get it, you can have immediate infection or you don't.
How do
If
you
you
get
don't
it?
have it, about 30% of the people go on with it in your body, eating away at your muscles. And so people die of an early heart attack from muscle degeneration.
So it's in mosquitoes, or
It's actually in this bug. It's called the kissing bug. It kind of looks like a cockroach, but more triangular. And what happens is it gets more and more in the population by we encroaching on the forest. It's a forest bug. But when you start clearing land, it's got nowhere to. It starts getting out of where its reservoir is and getting out of its natural habitat and coming into houses coming to bite you.
And we have it here in New Orleans.
We have the bug,
the Chagas bug.
and we have
What's
the
that called?
disease.
Is it called the Chagas bug?
No, it's
the
got
kissing.
long the kissing bug is what it's called.
What's the real name
yeah.
of it?
Tryptosoma, yeah.
Tryptosoma.
They have different species, genres, yeah.
Okay.
But
And
one of the
what does it look like? Maybe we need to look at it.
it's like a triangular roach is the best way to
So
call it.
kind
yeah.
of a cockroach there. So if you get bitten by a cockroach, start worrying.
The rum.
Rum drink. Do we have any more of our rum drink? No, that's iced tea. The
Never
rum
mind.
drink is in the picture.
That's okay. Well, here's really interesting. We have good housing here. We have screens. They don't really bother us here.
The Chagas bug.
No.
So has anyone been bitten in New Orleans by it?
Oh yeah, people can get bitten by it. It's pretty rare. But it's just, like I said, the behavior of it's very different than the behavior in Latin America, for example. And so it's what's
In what
called,
sense? It stays up late there and
Well, I don't want to.
Has
It's
dinner at
kind of
11?
it's kind of nasty how it spreads. It bites you, and then it defecates. And then when you rub your face with the bite, it smears the defecation into the bite, and it gets in your system that way. Here's another interesting fact: you can
why
have
did God invent that?
you
do you think?
can you can have an immediate reaction, and more people in Arizona die from the anaphylactic reaction than bee stings now of Chagas bug.
The anaphylactic reaction meaning
From the bite. You know how bee stings will give you an allergic
what
reaction?
is an anaphylactic
It's
reaction?
an allergic reaction.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the allergic reaction that kills you.
Yeah, some people have
And it's
died
the same
from
thing. So the Chagas, when a mosquito bites you, it's sucking your blood.
Right.
So what's this thing biting you for? Does it want blood, or does it just want to take a crap on your face?
It wants blood, but they're very different behaviors, the mosquito and this kind of bug. It actually likes to bite your face, too. It goes after your face.
are we tearing down forests here? Is that how?
It's not as much, but we do have the bug here, and so if the closer you are to the forest, most bugs are very lazy, and it's more like a cockroach. It crawls more than flies. So what happens is, we're pretty clear. The environment, we're not so close to the environment as it is.
I've never heard anyone say that most bugs are lazy. I didn't know bugs didn't had a bad work ethic.
Well, for example, my previous work was in malaria and a little bit of dengue, and mosquitoes are lazy, and they're going to go to their nearest blood meal. And they're attracted, it's a really cool thing, they're attracted by your CO2 when you breathe and also from your skin. So they'll zoom from their little swamp area towards you. But if they get something before you, they're lazy. They'll take the first blood meal. So a good way, we call it zooprophylaxis. You can put a herd of cattle between the swamp and the village, and they'll go for the cattle first. So it's a protection by putting a ring of cattle around a village to keep the people from getting bitten.
What
But you
about
never
a
knew that. It's called
CO2?
zooprophylaxis.
What about a CO2
Amazing. You can, if you have a fan on, the fan will sometimes dissipate your CO2, and it becomes you can less attractive target.
And what about, so that's for mosquitoes?
Yeah.
So could you get rid of mosquitoes? Isn't that, those things that people have that attract mosquitoes?
Right. There's but lights.
They look like a barbecue.
Yeah, right. There's those
Are
buzzers.
Are they putting out CO2?
No.
Things that
no.
look like a barbecue and the
a lot
mosquitoes fly in
of
them.
a lot of bugs are attracted by light. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talking about the ones like light? They get bugs there. Yeah.
So how did the Chagas bug get to New Orleans?
It's probably always been here.
It's always been here. So
Probably has, yeah.
We don't have an epidemic of it. So
No, we don't. We don't have it because once again, it has different behavior. It behaves differently. It bites and then takes a hike take a little walk before it defecates. So you don't have the exact behavior.
What does it eat?
Good question. I want to
Well,
say
if it's taking a crap constantly.
It's blood meals, so it's going to be eating blood. So
Blood.
taking blood for nutrition.
So blood turns into feces somehow. Or other.
Yeah, exactly.
In the little
It's a-
Chagas.
Yeah,
In
you
the
know.
little tiny
Yeah.
cockroach-looking triangle.
Yeah,
Somehow
like-
it's got a very
Yeah,
complicated
very complicated, right?
intestinal system.
We have people forget in New Orleans we have everything. We have West Nile.
Yeah,
we have
well, we know that,
we
but-
have the mosquito that carries dengue.
Do we?
Yeah, Aedes aegypti, and that's an urban mosquito. It likes urban areas like car tires, pet bowls. It likes to breed in those kind of areas.
So are there people every year who contract those diseases?
Most people who get these diseases don't get them here. We don't have enough of a population to sustain it. So most people who get it are probably bringing it in from another country. You can even get malaria, for example. It's called runway malaria. You land in a country, mosquito gets on the plane, bites you. You have malaria, but you didn't even get off the plane.
But this is how stuff spreads all around the world. I mean,
Exactly.
that's how diseases
That's
spread.
That's why there's a lot of attention to these diseases now, is because we're so international. Bugs can get
Right.
anywhere very
Hey,
quickly.
Leela, have you been to India?
I've been to Pakistan, but not India.
Why did you go to Pakistan?
I went to work on a movie there, actually, like 7 years ago. The director was from Pakistan. He lived in London and LA most of his life, but his family's in Pakistan, and he wanted to film a movie with this International Performing Arts Festival as the backdrop, and his family runs that Performing Arts Festival. So we went over there and we performed there, and he filmed it.
So you're in the movie. You're acting in the movie.
Yes,
What's the movie called?
it's called Raven and Lenore. I'm not sure if it's been completed. I know it's kind of a long, big undertaking.
You made your movie with the help of a Kickstarter program.
I did.
And how much money did you have to raise to make that?
Well, I raised $12,000 through the Kickstarter campaign, and the movie has, yeah.
I'm looking forward to
cost more
seeing
than
this
that.
movie, Birdbath. I was
Yeah.
interested in this sentence in your bio because I read a sentence out of Lorelai's bio, so now I feel, to be fair, I should read one of yours. It says, at the end of
What is that?
2008. No, it's not embarrassing. It's
Oh, no,
fascinating.
that's from my website. I was just seeing what it.
It's from
what
your
it is.
bio, I guess. I don't really know. At the end of 2008, I stumbled upon a meditation class which had a profoundly transformative effect on my life.
It's true.
What happened?
Well, it was actually the first time I ever meditated. I was always curious about it, and we were doing a simple breathing meditation, and I was doing the breathing meditation, and the person teaching was just reminding us to go back to the breath and letting the thoughts go. And then I think I had my first real moment of being present, where I realized like everything in my brain was a lot of noise, and it wasn't actually real, and I was just sitting in the room looking at the carpet. So after that, I would say like what was interesting is like 90% of what I was watching on TV was no longer interesting, and maybe 90% of the things that I was working on in my acting class were not interesting in the same way. So it really, really shifted the types of things that I cared about, and of course it got rid of a lot of the noise.
And has it continued?
Yeah, I mean after that I started reading a lot more. I started doing yoga. started meditating more regularly. So it's
So
just been
it's like an epiphany
yeah, it was really like
that your whole 90% of your life is a waste of time.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And so yeah, from then it's just been, after recognizing that, reading more about it and reading different teachers, the way that they talk about it and the way different religions talk about it, and going a little bit
Are you
deeper.
happier now?
Yeah, much
More happier.
much happier.
Much
yeah.
more happier.
There's much
Correct.
less noise, I guess. A lot less projecting what other people are thinking and doing.
That's a really great place to be, I would think.
Yeah.
Isn't it, Lorelei? Wouldn't you love to be like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still back in the noise department.
no, I
There's a
mean
lot of
there's
fucking
there's
noise in
definitely
here.
noise still there, but
you can-
but realizing that, yeah, now I can go back to the place where like I see that that's noise.
How amazing. That is really. I mean, I'm sorry to stare at you. So, who are you? What leaders are you for? What guru or what kind of person?
I think-
would you advise us to read about?
For me, the one, I mean, there's many different ones, and the one that resonates with you is the one that you're meant to read, I guess.
Right.
And then at different moments in your life, different ones will resonate. But Eckhart Tolle has been a big one for me. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Eckhart Tolle, yeah.
And so I've read his stuff and I listen to him all the time, and he's very clear, and he's pretty. The words that he uses are very neutral, and they're not towards one religion or another, so they're pretty universal. And then there's another teacher, an Indian man. He's now passed away, but he's Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. He wrote a book called I Am That, which is one of the best spiritual books that I've ever come across.
I am that.
I Am That.
Okay.
Very
It's
Lorelei,
a-
write
it's
that down so we
I
can.
am that.
I'm getting a hold of that tonight.
It's a thick book, and it's a transcription of Maharaj talking to people who visited him for advice.
Okay. I am that.
I am that.
Okay.
Very simple, but
But it might not, it might
but
not.
you never know, though. I mean,
Right.
If, it works for
If you read it and you resonate with it, then
Right. And what's his name? This person?
Eckhart Tolle.
No,
or
the first person. I am that. I mean, second person.
the I Am That is Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj.
wow.
I can't even say that. I'm not going to attempt that. Okay, so now we've covered quite a lot of ground here today.
Wow,
We've-
yeah.
We've had an epiphany. We've talked about Hollywood movies. I hope you win the Academy Award. That would be amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Are you going to be nominated, or how do you get to be nominated?
Yeah, actually, okay, so there's two ways that a short film can become eligible, and one way is if it wins an award in there's a handful of festivals that if it wins Best Short Film, then it becomes eligible, or you can do a screening of the movie in LA, which is what I did. So I did a public screening of the film over a weekend for paid admission, and so that happened recently, and the deadline to submit was October 1st. So I actually delivered my DCP to the Academy, which was exciting. I was like on my iPhone looking for directions to the Academy, and I felt pretty cool.
There's actually a place. There's
a
actually
place,
an
yes,
Academy
it's on,
of Motion
it's on
Picture.
Wilshire in LA, and I was,
Okay. You
know,
walked into the
Googled it.
Academy of
I walked
Motion
into the
Picture
Academy
Films and
with
Sciences, whatever it is.
yes, with an envelope with a file and some different information about the film, and I handed it to them.
You give it to someone, and they go,
Yeah,
"Thank you."
The guy sort of
Bye.
laughed at me. I guess. No,
Nice.
well, there were two. There was a security guard there, and there was another guy there, and he said, "Well, do you want me to bring it up, or do you want to bring it up yourself?" And I was like, I don't care. You can bring it up. And then I was like, wait. No,
Yeah, no, I'll do
no,
it.
wait,
Yeah.
wait. Should I? Should I bring it up? I don't know. Is that more exciting? And then the one security guard laughed at me because he liked my
I would think it's a pretty big
unaffectedness or
deal.
whatever.
I wouldn't trust anyone with my Academy Award.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he seemed,
Nomination,
he
would
seemed
you?
pretty
Pretty
official.
exciting, yeah.
I emailed to double check that they had gotten it,
Okay.
just to make sure.
So when do you find out
So,
if you're in?
so I guess they watch all the ones that have been eligible, and they decide they do a short list based on merit if they think it's good enough. So they short list like 10 or 15 or however many are the
Right.
quality that they like, and I think that happens first week in December.
Wow.
And then
so
after that, yeah.
You hear all about this stuff. I mean, we've got to figure this out. Who's going to win this?
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but just tell us. Do you hear all the stuff about Harvey Weinstein and the Weinstein brothers and spending millions of dollars on their Academy Award nominations and all this? Do you have to do anything like
I
You know?
don't like,
casting couch type stuff? Is any of that true?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I'm
Okay. Well, we'll find
No.
out.
Yeah, really.
If
If she wins, you still have time to
No, it's not-
to
Yeah,
sway
miles
the
of time
jury.
until
Yeah,
December.
yeah.
Okay.
not- yeah.
Well, I hope that you get somewhere with this because that would be
Yeah.
really exciting if we could see you, nominated for an Academy Award. Holy hell, I would love it, wouldn't you? I don't know anyone.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
We'd be talking about you forever then.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's our friend who was
Yeah,
nominated for the
right.
Academy Award.
Meanwhile, we
Okay.
like tromp around Latin America.
Okay, so listen here. So one of these people is going to, you two have to decide
Okay.
which one of these entrepreneurs
So
is going to
what
have
did
the
you say
happy
their
hour
name
cocktail
again
now.
and their
Tess Monahan
product?
from Good Eggs.
Because we thought maybe the name or the product sounded good for one. Let's
It
go
was
through
a
it.
cotinga.
Okay.
Because it was very, Latin sounding.
Bird.
Is that the one you're voting for, or is it you
That's
just?
what she was asking.
Oh,
what-
okay.
what
We
were
want
talking
you to
about.
go down again with the names and their products so we can decide.
Tess Monahan from Good Eggs. She's the person who has the
Yeah.
website where you can buy fresh vegetables and so on. That was the first person. The second person, Liz Beeson from Sunken City with the web TV series. The third person was Nate Winner, the Nola Pie guy who makes pies online.
And he's out because he didn't bring us a pie.
He did not bring us a pie, but no one else brought us anything, to be fair. Barrett Conrad from Cotinga Soft, who we were just talking about, and then finally Alex Giro, the guy who's making nanoparticles that you can paint on your house.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty interesting bunch of amazing people, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
You've got to admit that much. Okay, so you two are going to have to figure it out while I just
Okay.
have a drink.
We could just do Cotinga.
Yeah, I think.
We kind of like the name Cotinga because it just kind of rolls off our tongue, and it seems to be a good name of a drink, and it seems fair because he was
He had the connection. It was sort of like magical in a way.
yeah.
He had the yeah. What was his connection to you again?
It's a bird named after a Latin American
right.
bird, and your connection was
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Jonesboro,
He's from
Arkansas,
Jonesboro,
yeah.
and I
so he's
vaulted there.
So he's got the rural cred, and he's got the Latin
He's
American
got the name.
cred. So I think I think we're going to vote on him.
So,
we need a cool name for the drink, though.
so what are we going to call the
Cotinga.
So Barrett
Oh, okay.
Conrad from Cotinga Soft is the winner.
Cotinga Cooler.
Cotinga.
Tell him to come on over,
With
Graham, and
Ks.
we'll congratulate. That's very exciting.
We can't put Cotinga Cooler Cup with another K because then it'll be like
Cotinga Cola.
Hey, Barrett Conrad from Cotinga Soft. Our two judges have decided that your company is going to be the winner of the
right.
Happy Hour cocktail naming
/
competition.
$1 million
So
investment.
what you've won is for the next.
Okay, good.
First of all, we don't have the $1 million to give you right now.
Okay, I'll take a cocktail.
But we're going to name the Happy Hour cocktail after you and your company for the next 4 shows.
Awesome. I like that. Thank
Yeah.
you very
We
much.
have this picture of cocktails that they make us here at Casa Borrega, which is always made from fresh fruit
Okay.
and usually rum or vodka or tequila one time, and it's
That'll
all
work.
it's all homemade and it's all fresh and it's
Awesome.
and it always tastes great. And for the next 4 weeks, it's going to be called the Cotinga Soft Happy Hour Cocktail.
Wonderful. Well, thank you
Okay.
very much. I appreciate
Very
that.
nice. And that's Happy Hour for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. My special guests have been the winner of the Happy Hour Cocktail competition. Barrett Conrad for Cotinga Soft, also Liz Beeson from Sunken City, Nola Pie Guy, Nate Winner, Alex Giro, the man who makes nanoparticles from Advano, and Good Eggs, Tess Monahan, the two special judges of the show sitting to my left and right, respectively, Leila French, filmmaker of Birdbath the movie, short movie, and Dr. Lorelei Cropley from Tulane University. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me
A lot of fun.
this afternoon
A lot of
here
fun. Thank you.
on Happy Hour. Our show is produced by Graham DePonte. I think Graham DePonte deserves a round of applause today. That was
Yay.
an awesome job, unbelievably put together. Very difficult. Chris Kehoe is our associate producer and technical director. Christian Unruh is our music director. The theme that you're currently listening to was written by and is being played by Mitch Foreman. The fabulous audio quality of this show is brought to you in part by PreSonus Audio Electronics. PreSonus makes some of the best audio recording and live sound products around, including Studio One music production software, Studio Live digital mixing consoles, Era studio monitors, and much more. You can visit PreSonus.com for more information about all that. If you'd like to be on our show and you can sit around a table for about an hour, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, where you can also find plenty of other happy hours to listen to, along with some other shows. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, which is live from Commander's Palace Mindset, with psychiatrist Dr. Nick Pajic. True to the Game with the fabulous Chris True and Tammy Nelson. Vietnola, our show about the New Orleans Vietnamese community, and Midnight Menu +1 with Margot Moss and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. You can keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media. On all of it, where It's New Orleans. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher or some other podcast app, thank you for subscribing. Take a moment to rate and review us. That does help other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Casa Borrega on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard in Central City. Casa Borrega is a bar, a restaurant, and a live music venue. Check them out online on Facebook and Twitter, and even better, come down here and have a drink or a meal or listen to some music. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com, and Duhan will be back next week For everyone back at the INO office, Graham Ponte over here, congratulations, good job. And all of us sitting around the table here at Casa Borrega, I'm Grant Morris. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Happy Hour.
Let's be honest, there are tons of ways to send money back home, and every company promises me the same things: good rates and safe transfers. That's why it can be overwhelming to choose a new way to send money. I switched to Remitly because I can track my money every step of the way, which means I know exactly when my mom will get her money. And with their extensive payment network, my mom can receive her money in a way that is more convenient and safe for her. You should check it out. Go to Remitly.com or download their app to get started. Remitly Inc. is a licensed money transmitter by the state of New York, California, Massachusetts, and other states.